Krishna, and Swami Vivekananda on the Shakti and the Devi. So we'll have their energy. But basically, knowing that we're going to talk, about the Devi and what it really means and some of the deeper symbology and the different levels of Ma. so, so we're really excited to. I always have a special um, worship of Ma. I always have. So it's something very close to my heart too. So we'll start with a chant. Om Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mritirma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to mortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. So as we contemplate the Devi and Maya and Ma, however it's referred to and thought of, I was trying to get the reading steadily. I flew in late last night and I didn't get my readings together completely, but it was Sri Ramana Maharshi, who we have also on the altar, he said something very profound. Of course, he's saying everything profound. There's nothing he said that wasn't profound. But he did say that, and Swamiji also wrote something in a similar manner, that Brahman itself is the eternal consciousness without limits and forms, and the covering of it is Shakti or Maya. And that is the projection of Brahman. It is one, as Srimad Krishna said so many times, that Ma and Brahman is one with the highest Brahman. And there is no difference between Shakti and Ma. Shakti and Brahman, or Shiva and Shakti. And he said it's like milk in its whiteness, or a snake in its wriggling motion, these types of things, the fish in its wiggling motions. He said that you couldn't distinguish between one and the other. You can't have one without the other. They are one and the same. And, there's that beautiful story of Totapuri, when he was a knower of Brahman. So he was unquestionably established in the knowledge of Brahman. But he totally discounted Ma. He totally discounted the superstitious prattlings and the simplistic things that Srimad Krishna, his devotion for Ma. And so he discounted it at his own peril, actually, because in this world, Ma, as Srimad Krishna said over and over, in this world, Ma is supreme. And so if you don't really respect the world and all of these expressions as a part of God, as a part of Brahman, then you're disrespecting part of Brahman itself. So, as Srimad Krishna said, to go up to the roof and become a Brahmagyani is one thing, but then to become intimately knowing that all the steps and everything leading up to that stage are also Brahman, that's Vijnana, and that's the fullness of understanding of Brahman. And so, I think we get in trouble, and I think India got in trouble a little bit, and this is what Swamiji said, that they discounted the world, that it wasn't important, that it was just a dream, just an illusion, and so they basically really didn't think about it very much, and they only focused on the transcendent aspect, or a devotion to one of the deities, and there wasn't a real focus on the world or respect for the world. And of course, the West was completely opposite. They only focused on the world, to the exclusion a lot of any inner feeling of spirituality. The spirituality, for the most part, of the West was an external spirituality of deity and power and forgiveness and God's judgment and wrath and all these types of things. But they did focus on the world, and so they became very proficient at using the world and using the energy of the world. And so they took over a lot of the rest of the world. The English, of course, took over India and others before them. And so I think Swamiji said that, there was just a tamas that took over in India because of this misunderstanding of Shakti and the power and importance of Ma, not just as in understanding, but as a manifestation of everything. And seeing that the laws of physics are Ma, the use of the laws of physics, the use of sanitation and efficiency and Western utilitarianism, that's all Ma. And that's worshiping her in the highest, if you see it as an aspect of Ma. And so I think that's why Swami Vivekananda was so impressed with the Western ways of hygiene and organization, and these, you know, and Swami Yogananda also. He would say he'd walk by a block, an empty parcel of land, and he'd come by a week later and there'd be a house there. And that was amazing, because in India, of course, at that time especially, those things were not possible, because they were really, really not focusing on the physical world. And that imbalance was something that's a problem. So the West was imbalanced in their focus on the West and becoming tied up in it and stressed, and you know, their energy was very, very, you know, rajastic, but very much in a negative way. Just frenetic is what you would call it. It wasn't really leading to this peace. And in the East, they were imbalanced in the other way, where they were just contemplative mostly and not really focused on balancing with the respect of the world and Ma in the world. And so, you know, that's why Swami Yogananda ji also says many times, and I think Swami Vivekananda many times, there had to be an interchange somehow of East and West. There had to be a merging of the best of the East and the best of the West. And that makes the golden middle path of respect for Ma, respect for Brahman, and the highest manifestation of both. So this is kind of what's neat, you know. That's why, from my point of view, having raised in the West, but of course spending a lot of time in the East, you know, I see this blending now happening, where some of the best minds are coming out of India that are in medicine and technology and all these types of things. I'm working with a company that's technology is coming from India to America. And in the West, you know, there's been a real transplant of spirituality in the West, and there's people who have come up, you know, brought up their whole lives with Indian ideals of spirituality and meditation and profound contemplation, and trying their best to live that contemplative life themselves. We have swamis in our order that have, you know, are Western swamis, but basically their whole life has been devoted to the Eastern tradition. And Swami Atmavidyananda is coming this Wednesday. He's a perfect example. And Swami Arupanandaji, who's coming in November, is another perfect example. All their life, and their parents were also devotees. And so their whole life, they were basically brought up in the Eastern tradition. And so that spirituality was certainly transplanted in the West. And the material deficiency is certainly transplanted in the East and in India especially. So, you know, we're already seeing a lot of this. But this is Ma, you know. So we'll look a little bit of what Ma is. We talked about Brahman being the ultimate reality. So there's no beginning, there's no end, there's just awareness. There's no cause, there's no effect in Brahman. There's no desire, there's no liberation, there's nothing possible in Brahman. It's all already fulfilled. There's nothing missing in Brahman. There's nothing for it to motivate itself. So, but there was, you know, I was talking to Swami Sarva Priyanandaji about bhakti and love, you know, and it's kind of interesting in that to have the fullness of love, to have the infinity of love, there really has to be an expression and a reception of love, right? Love in its own self, just existing on its own, isn't complete, because there's nothing. Love by its own nature is given and it's received. That's the whole idea of love, right? It's not like bliss, where bliss can just exist by its own, because that's not a kind of a thing that is generally given or received. It's just existing, right? But love is not really that. Love is really that quality which is given and received, and that makes it complete, that makes it perfect, that makes it infinite, that makes it balanced, and so on. And so I think deep in the side of this beautiful love that is the divine nature of Brahman, there is this energy that comes out and needs a second to express and receive it. And so that's only possible because there's only one, by Maya, by illusion. The illusion of two. And now you have the possibility of giving and receiving love. But if you have two perfect beings, yeah, I guess you could give love, but it would be kind of boring because you have this perfect love, right? It doesn't really make a good movie picture, right? So having this horrible cinema show in some times, and this beautiful cinema show, to create so many different beings of different choices and different various understandings and so on, it really creates this infinity of love that's expressed in this physical universe. Even the microbes have attractions, and they connect. Even the animals, as you can see, there's love between parents, and there's pain there. If a child of an animal gets hurt, you know, that love is there. It's intrinsic to all creation. It's basically what binds all of creation. So this love that came from the infinite Brahman, to me, it actually creates that impetus to create, to have something other than its own self. So that's the fulfillment of love. And so the whole universe, you can say, as Vivekananda, Sri Krishna, and others have always said, is basically based on love. You know, this whole universe, the energy behind it is love. And so Ma is consciousness, love, divine. And that's why everybody who comes in contact with her is just inebriated with her divine, intoxicating love. You know, it just melts the whole being. And so she is everything of creation. And her motivation, her central motivation is love. Her whole essence is love. Bliss, of course, is Brahman. And she has that bliss also. She's one with Brahman. But she is that love. And that love is the creatrix. And that love creates separation. And it has to have separation to give and receive. And so Ma is everything. She's all the best of the world. It's all the worst of the world. She's the light, she's the dark, she's the shadows, she's all. So that's why this image is so beautifully profound that it's, you know, she doesn't have her just sitting there beautifully pristine. There's a bloody sword, there's a severed head, there's, you know, they couldn't make it more graphic, right? And of course the skulls on the necklaces and the thumbs, there's actually a thumb, that's the girdle of thumbs, right? But it's not shown here. And then of course Shiva lying the whole substance, it's Turiya, it's the whole substratum of awareness and consciousness that is supporting this whole Ma creation. So Ma is everything, but Ma is also us. The individual us is Ma. There's no difference. That's why we become one with Ma, because we are Ma. As our ego, that's Ma. As our bodies, that's Ma. Our thoughts are Ma. Now, if we go into Brahman, then everything dissolves. That's a different subject. But there's no difference between us and Ma. We become, you know, those devotees of Ma always kind of chant Ram Prasad. We're going to chant the Ram Prasad song today. They chant it often, you know, one with Ma, she becomes my all there. They see nothing but Ma everywhere, including inside. So this is Ma, and Ma Kali is the creatrix. It's the embodiment of everything. Now, once you have creation, and you have a separate being that is existing within creation, unless it's a perfected being, it's just us, we need certain things. We need help from Ma, right? We can't exist without her. She's totally, we're dependent on her totally, like Ramakrishna said, we're the premature child, you know, who is weak and needs Ma all the time. So first of all, we need protection. So this is a beautiful thing of Ma Durga. So to me, Ma Kali comes first because she's creating everything. But then Ma Durga is the essence of protection. If we can't have protection, we don't exist. We're squashed like bugs, right? So we worship Ma Durga as an aspect of Shakti that is our protectrix. So we always chant to Ma Durga if we travel or if we have troubles, or, you know, she's got the sword and she's got the lion and she's our champion, she's our protectrix. she's, you know, we can go to Ma. So Ma Durga then is functioning within this relationship of a separate personality that we are. And we need Ma. Ma Lakshmi, we need to be sustained. We need to be supported. We need certain things, you know, when we're really primal, we need shelter, we need food, we need, you know, protection and companionship. We need all of these things. We can't exist alone. We need some love and support, family. Later on, of course, when we became agrarian, you know, we needed crops, and the crops to do well for us, to feed our families, to feed our loved ones, to feed the tribe. Then as we got into a more sophisticated economy, there was money. You know, money supported and bought the things that are needed for survival. And so Ma Lakshmi supports. She supplies everything that is needed in the world, and she is our support and our love. You know, of course, we can get into trouble asking Ma just for riches for the sake of riches, and then we get caught up. But as Sri Krishna said and Yoganandaji, you know, Ma will take care of us. She takes care of everybody. She'll take care of us in ways we can't even imagine if we surrender all to Ma and let her supply all the needs that are there. So Ma Lakshmi is an aspect of Ma. And Ma Saraswati is the expression and the wisdom of, so if you have a separate being, it needs to be evolved enough so that it can love back. It can be sophisticated enough to love God, to love its own self, more or less, this mysterious second. So it has to be evolved through all of this. And so Ma Saraswati is the giver of all knowledge, the giver of all wisdom, from the basic all the way to the most supreme, glorious wisdom and knowledge. And not only that, but then through those beings, she expresses. So she expresses her wisdom and her profound understanding and all of these things through the mouths of the Great One. That's why Srimad Krishna said many times it was Ma who talked through him. And she said all these wonderful things through him. And he knew that Ma would always tell him and make the perfect things to say. So he never prepared anything, of course. He just came from Ma. Same thing with Swami Vivekananda. He didn't prepare for his lectures. He just let Ma Shakti, Brahman, but Ma, speak through him. And he said he'd hear a voice talking the night before and giving him his lecture. This was Ma in another kind of form. So, that's why when we go to the altar and we go to Ma Kali and then Ma Durga, Ma Lakshmi and Ma Saraswati, and of course Sardama is a mixture of all, mostly Ma Kali, but she's a mixture of all of these things. We can go to Ma for these things. We can understand that if we need to be sustained, if we really have troubles and we're in need, we can go to Ma Lakshmi. If we're needing protection and we really are in trouble and we need somebody to go to, we can go to Ma Durga. And if we really need to understand and we're just confused, or you need to express something that is very important in job or work or giving some classes or something, we always go to Ma Saraswati. And that's why all the musicians always pray to Ma Saraswati, or the ones who give lectures and classes, we pray to Ma Saraswati to express through us. So this is the thing that I think we wanted to just kind of cover very quickly on the subject. And now we can chant and just so when we go, we'll chant all of the names of the Devis. Om Aim. We'll start with because it's Durga Puja. We'll start with Ma Durga, and we'll do Jai Shri Durga instead of Ma Durga. We'll Om Aim Jai Shri Durga. So that's the chant that we want to do for this Navaratri. And by the way, if you're a devotee of the center, Swami Sarvadevanandaji I sent an email out just recently. He wanted to know how many times you were going to chant this for.
And we have to give it on the last day.
Well, tell us before, so what your intentions are, because I need to send this in. So if you can tell me what you intend to chant, and then that's fine. And then the last day is when you tell us.
I'm just writing it down.
Yeah, so what you intend to chant, so I can send them. So you guys who are online too, if you could please do that and send that in. I'll announce it again Wednesday when Swamiji's here, maybe many more.
Right.
So that's that. We'll chant and we'll get some of Jai Ma Durgas in, and you can add this to your and count them and add this to your total. Okay, here we go. Oh, by the way, we'll do Jai Ma Durga first, Jai Shri Durga, and then we'll do Shardama and Ma Kali, Ma Lakshmi, Ma Saraswati. We'll do them all also. Jai Shri Durga, Jai Shri Durga, Jai Shri Durga, Jai Shri Durga, Jai Shri Durga. Saraswati, Saraswati, Jai Ma Sharda, Jai Ma Sharda, Jai Ma Sharda, Jai Jai Shri Durga, 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 Okay, we'll do Will That Day Come to Me, Mama? And this is a Ram Prasad song, which is really, really lovely. This is one that Sri Ramakrishna sang, Paramahansa Yogananda translated it and sang. We'll do the translation that he gave us, but it's a Ram Prasad song. I don't know what page it's on.
This is on 16.
16?
16.
Yeah, 16. Beautiful, beautiful song. Will that day come to me, Ma? So. Wisdom flawlessly blossom for darkness will steal away. Wisdom's blossom, darkness will steal away. Steal away, steal away, steal away, steal away. I love that song. Okay, we'll do Ramakrishna Sharanam. Actually, why don't we do this? We'll do a short meditation first, and then we'll finish with Ramakrishna Sharanam. How's that sound? So we'll get prepared and just think of Ma as the ultimate, and just that we're part of Ma. She is literally us. There's nothing that we are that we're aware of that she's not, and nothing and things that we aren't aware of that she is also. So just remember that we are Ma, she is us, and so we're as close to her beyond our even imagining. So we can go to her with everything in any way we can imagine it and want to, and need to. So we'll start with the pranayama, as we always do. We'll breathe in twice through the nose, exhale through the mouth twice. We'll do that 3 times. And then on the third exhalation, just remember that just leave the breath out and just become the observer. See the breath going in and going out, going in, going out. And when the breath goes in, it's so, and then as it stays, when it wants to go out by its own self, hum, so, so, I am he, I am he, I am he, or I am she, I am she, I am she, however you want to use it. Or you can do Jai Ma, I suppose, if you really want to use for this time, you can do Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Whatever works. Okay, so let's do our breathing. We'll just do it 3 times. We won't tense. We'll try to just keep it relaxed. And then on the 3rd time, we'll just go into the meditation just for a short time. Ready? So we'll do it together. Remember, it's double inhalation through the nose, holding it, exhalation through the mouth, double. So here we go. First, inhale. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more time. Exhale. And now just watch the breath. When it wants to come in, so when it wants to go out, hum. So thank you all for coming. It's just a joy to celebrate the Shakti Ma. And for you online, we certainly welcome you to come for Somayatma Vidyanandaji's class on Wednesday. We're also about the various aspects of the Ma, of Divine Mother, and he'll be doing guided meditations and chanting and songs, and he always does an amazing job with this, so it should be wonderful. And that will start at 5 p.m. with a RT, and Swamiji's class usually starts somewhere around 6 p.m. So we'll be also we sent out the link. I'll be doing that tonight, so you'll have the YouTube as well. Okay, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, everyone.